I have a question about Kiefer Sutherland.
What about him?
Someone in the chat was telling me that like there's a in-story, in-world reason as to why his voice is different, but
Disable chat.
I, d- I mean, like obviously, like I don't want to know, but like,
There
is
actually
that
isn't.
true or false? I guess is all I'm saying.
Well, like Kojima has been wanting to replace Kiefer or
Yes.
David Hayter for a while, and I think he just got his way.
Damn.
But like, you could also just say that, Big Boss had a different voice in Metal Gear Solid 4, so they
That is true.
probably
That is true.
just wanted to continue that.
That is true.
But your chat is very borderline. Like sometimes it's borderline. Like, oh, this might be spoiler territory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've been.
Oh, our voices are live, by the way.
But
on
wait,
the
what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
I'm on a delay.
I don't think. Actually, I think they might still be. I think.
I just got to the point where I said they're live.
Yeah, same. Maybe. Bet.
Sweet.
Beautiful. We love a well-nourished king.
I just got to the point where I said I was listening to us saying, so I think they're still alive. Excellent.
Good question. It's a good question.
There's no way you brought Code Veronica, let's be honest. There's 4 other Resident Evil games you would have brought before that. Alright. Dude, it'd be crazy if you bring Village like 2 weeks after it comes out.
God damn.
Alright.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm just gonna eat.
What they do?
Real quick.
No worries.
What's good? I do have a pop-up chat open.
I also have the Boston Red Sox next to me in the background. They're second place in the American League East, 2 games at least, I believe, behind the Tampa Bay Rays. Are facing a sweep in Houston right now after losing 3 games, but they're up by 3 in the top of the 6th against the Astros. So looking good, fighting off the sweep. You love to see it.
Does anyone here like the show Dave?
Nah, well, I haven't seen it.
Ah, damn. Good show. But they just put out their season 2 trailer and I want to watch it so bad. Oh man. My boy King Julian in the chat. What's good, King? What's good?
Transition should be up. Name tags are out of order at the moment, but that'll fix itself. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second ever JoyClicks Hall of Game. This is your spring ceremony? No. Is this spring? No, it's summer. We did spring.
Summer, right?
Yes.
Summer, right?
It is summer.
Right now
It's spring right now, but this is the summer showcase.
Yes. So this is our summer induction ceremony for the JoyClicks Hall of Game, the series where we are deciding the greatest games ever made. I am not Mike Connors. Like I said, name tags will be fixed in a moment. But what we're doing today, my name's Christian Buckley. I'm joined by Jack Martin, Omar Nakvi, Kevin Diaz, and Mike Connors. There he is. Name tags and all.
What do they do?
What's up?
So what this is, we are trying to decide the best games ever made. Before, when we did this, we did select Mario 64, brought by me, and Wii Sports, brought by Omar. Through presentations, voting, we all decided that those are two of the greatest games ever made. There's none other yet. Today we induct two more. There are some changes since the last time we did this. I can run through them briefly. If we have questions, we can deal with that, and then we'll start the presentations. So, like I mentioned, the way this works, we each have a game. We prepared 6-minute presentations at the max to sell why our game is the best ever made. That will be followed up by a Q&A portion. We've decided to cut the time limit on that just so we can have enough of a thorough examination from the panel against the game. Maybe some people haven't played the game. We have some extensive questions, conversations to go to. That is no longer limited by time. After the presentations are completed, we are going to be voting in a confessional cam style. It'll be a single person on screen going through their thoughts on presentations, what they did. All of them will DM me the game they want to assign their point values to. We are changing it this time. Point values are now 1 point, 3 points, and 5 points. So, the game I want to give the most points to, the game I believe out of presentations tonight is the most deserving, I will give 5 points to. So, if I were voting for Mario 64, I would be DMing Christian and saying Mario 64, 5. Wii Sports, 3. Batman Arkham City 1. You know, like, that's how it's going to shake out this time. The math will work better, so there won't be as... The math will work out so it's not going to be a tie every time. So
Yeah, they're all odd numbers. I see you.
Yes.
I see you.
So that is the first element of the main changes. We established this last time, but worth reiterating. If there is a tie, the award will go to the game that had the most people vote for it. Again, I don't know the exact math, but let's say 3 games get 8. If 4 of us voted for a game that got 8 points versus 2 of us that voted for a game that got 8 points, it would go to the one with the most people behind it. And I think that's all the changes. So everything else is going to be the same as it was before. We have a new layout for everything. Rules are the same. Presentations will go at the same rate. And you cannot vote for your own game. Those are the rules of the Hall game. Panel, do we have any questions?
I don't think so.
I have a question.
Jack.
How are we deciding who goes? Is it the same process as last time?
Yeah.
Roll of the dice?
Yeah, we'll roll the pinwheel. I won't do it on cam this time because it just fucked up the stream before, so we'll just do it on my end, and then I'll show the screen if we don't believe me, but that is the order, the way we'll be deciding the order this time. Okay. And Kevin, with the exception of you, everybody is bringing either vocal or PowerPoint presentation, so will you be on timing duty again, 6-minute timers?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. Let me bring up a pinwheel to select who's going first. And in the meantime, how's everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling about the ceremony, the hall, bringing their game to be judged brutally? Mike, how you feeling?
Pretty good. We'll have 4 games in the Hall of Game after this presentation, correct?
We will.
That's exciting news. I'm excited.
Yeah. Jack, do you feel good about what you're bringing this time?
It's more of a Jack Martin game than Batman Arkham City was, I will say. So I guess I don't know if it'll be as, it's not necessarily as wide appeal as maybe Arkham City was. So I don't feel confident in that regard, but I do feel confident in regard to my love for this game.
Sure. Kevin,
Yes.
you narrowly got in last time. You're short a few votes. Are you feeling good about your odds this time?
I'm feeling more confident in the game I chose from a standpoint of like I feel like it's going to be very hard for someone here in this panel to not have any sort of touchstone with the game I chose.
Sure.
So I think I got a pretty safe, contender here, as opposed to last time where I was very much like definitely picked a personal choice. I think this one it is a personal choice, but it's definitely more of a more popular personal choice. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're gonna make some waves here. Let's get a game that's not Nintendo. You know what I'm saying?
Omar, like myself, you got a game in for the first ceremony. Are you feeling
Right.
good about being a 2-time champ tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna win. I come here to win.
Oh shit.
And if I
Oh,
lose,
shit.
it's because you guys felt bitter about the last event. So
Mm.
I won't even worry about it. So let's go.
Okay. Well, everything should be good to go. We will spin the first wheel. Decide who goes first. The wheel's spinning. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? First up, Jack Martin.
Oh
Wow.
shit. Here
Oh.
we go.
I believe I was last time.
Here we go.
Yeah, so let me transition to the presentation screen. Jack, you can queue up your screen share. I think your PowerPoint will probably show the title. So everybody else on the panel, close your
Oh, yeah.
eyes.
Can I hit share your screen?
Yes, you can.
I'm commencing.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you may have to. I think the other viewers, yeah, we have to click watch stream, so we can't. So if we could do that with our eyes closed,
Yes.
Okay.
Christian, you're gonna need to tell
My-
me if this looks good.
my stream is up.
My eyes are still closed. Should I open them?
It looks good to me. The current layout of everything is a bit botched on the OBS settings, but that's completely okay. Your thing is completely in view, and you can begin your presentation whenever you are good.
All right.
Panel can open their eyes, and then Kevin can begin his timer.
All right. To probably no one's surprise, I love Apex Legends. Talked about it all the time. I've played over 700 hours of it. So I'm bringing it to the Hall of Game. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to keep rolling. So a little bit about this game. Came out in 2019 after a very surprise announcement that there was all this hubbub about a Titanfall Battle Royale game, and then Apex Legends came out and it was completely free, and it was wild. Like Titanfall, it was developed by Respawn Entertainment. Initially was just the Battle Royale game that I mentioned, but recently added a 3v3 arenas mode, and it is indeed set in the Titanfall universe. So in a lot of ways, Apex Legends doesn't reinvent the wheel or introduce crazily new ideas, but I think it does combine a lot of elements from other games to create a really great, unique result. So its legends are very much similar to Overwatch's Heroes. Battle Royale obviously has its roots in PUBG and Fortnite, and that's sort of the main focus. And its gameplay is largely similar to Titanfall's. But when you mix it all together, I think the elements by themselves aren't all that unique, but together in a mix, I think it really makes Apex Legends a great amalgamation of several different games. So the gameplay is, like I said, largely based on Titanfall's combat structure, but that is a very good thing. Titanfall is developed by Respawn. A lot of those developers are from the Call of Duty franchise and just sort of maneuvered over to Respawn and just made Titanfall reference to trying to, destroy Call of Duty, which it didn't necessarily do. but regardless, has some really great first-person shooting combat, and that translates pretty much one-to-one to Apex Legends. It has a variety of weapons that all feel pretty unique and feel good in their own right. I think locomotion in particular really helps this game stand out amongst any other multiplayer first-person shooters out there. Legends can wall run vertically, slide, and jump around the map. A lot of Legends like Pathfinder here have traversal abilities, so you can shoot zip lines or use jump pads and stuff to get around the map. And again, I feel like it's one of those great combination of shooting mechanics and movement that really help Apex Legends stand apart. So, like Fortnite and PUBG, the main mode of Apex Legends pits people against each other to be the last surviving combatants in a game. It's largely the same as those, but there's some great iterations that really improved Battle Royale and sort of made people take notice of what Apex was doing. The respawn beacons let players respawn after they die, so it's not just an instant death and you have to watch your teammates keep playing. You can get back into the fray. Knockdown shields help you prevent just being instantly dead after getting knocked down. And the Legends abilities, which I'll get into later, definitely make this game seem a lot different because different characters can have different abilities, and there's some interesting strategies you can employ when forming a squad. I think the most unique thing about this game, and the thing that made other shooters sort of perk their ears up when this game came out, was the ping system. Basically allowing people to communicate through a communication wheel, and it's surprisingly simple but surprisingly effective. There's pretty much everything you need to communicate to your teammates without a mic, and it works incredibly well. And like I said, Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone specifically took notice and implemented their own ping systems. Not as too great effect as Apex Legends did, but they saw this come out in this game and were like, we need to do that for ourselves. So one of the main draws of Apex Legends is the cast of legends, and this game does a really good job of having distinct individuals, and each legend has their own traits and abilities that make them stand out from each other. Every character plays differently, and some are more assault characters, while others are focused on healing or providing equipment to your squad. And aside from just playing great and playing very differently, everyone can have their own favorite legend. I know Mike, Christian, and I do. They're all just endearing characters in their own right. Some more so than others, but Respawn even has in-game comics and stuff like that to showcase their stories outside of the game itself. So the legends themselves have the capacities to sort of hold their own stories outside of just being cool characters with unique combat abilities.
1 minute warning.
So, thank you. I think this game is really good at being constantly updated. There's always new skins, legends, battle passes, maps, all that sort of stuff. And it never gets stale because mid-season events always flesh out any dead time, perceived dead time. And like I was saying, every legend is pretty unique, and they have their own stories from the Outlands trailers every time they get introduced, and some really incredibly beautiful art associated with that as well. So the arenas mode was just introduced. I might go over 6 minutes. I have like 2 more sides if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like arenas was a great job of showing that Apex is more than just this battle royale game. Arenas was this 3v3 mode, and it showcases that Apex is mostly a first-person shooter game, and it just so happens to be a great battle royale. And with the introduction of arenas, it shows that there's room to grow and there's possibilities going forward outside of battle royale and arenas. So Apex continues the Titanfall 2 franchise, or the Titanfall franchise in general, and unfortunately Titanfall 2 wasn't as successful as EA wanted it to be, but because Apex is so successful, it is a billion-dollar franchise, it allows Respawn to continue telling stories in that universe. So in a way, Apex sort of helped revive the Titanfall brand 3 years after Titanfall 2 came out, and it's still ongoing, being very successful through Apex Legends. So there are more stories to tell in this universe because of Apex. So why should Apex Legends be in the Hall of Game? Personally, I think it's one of the best multiplayer experiences around. Some great traversal mechanics and just a great cast of characters that are fun to play. It's constantly updated, so you're always going to find something new anytime you jump back in the game. And it has a really cool universe with a lot of opportunities to grow. And the best part, it's totally free. And I've, like I said, put hundreds of hours into this game and only spend $10 on the first battle pass, which was optional. And that's just carried me through 2 years later. So yeah, it's a great game. I think you should all play it. And it's free, so you can try it out. That's my case.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, I have to answer to you now. I forgot about that part.
I have a question. When
Yes.
can we start the questions?
You can start the
now?
questions.
Okay.
Right now.
All right.
Next question.
So, all right. All right. So, Jack, you obviously great presentation, by the way. I want to preface this by saying that I do love Apex Legends, so take my question with a grain of salt. But I guess you were talking about Titanfall, and from my understanding, both of the Titanfall games have multiplayer. One of them has a story mode, right? So, what about Apex Legends do you think makes it stand out from the rest of that franchise? Like, in other words, why choose Apex Legends over like Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2?
So I think Apex is probably the most approachable of the three games of the Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, mostly because it's free, but there's hesitancy in first-person shooters in terms of campaigns. Like a lot of people who play FPSs just don't touch the campaigns, even though Titanfall 2's is amazing. And Apex just invites you to just jump into any game into a given battle royale or arenas mode and just spend however long you want. If you want to jump in and play 5 to 10 minutes, go for it. If you want to spend an hour going through your battle pass, you can also do that. And I feel like Apex is really interesting because it tells a story not in a traditional way. It's not a campaign. It has different lore. Each character has their own backstory that you can look up via YouTube or some in-game comics as well. So I feel like it is just somewhat more approachable because you don't have the baggage of having a campaign, having a separate multiplayer experience. It's all just right there off the bat.
Jack, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Also, very good presentation. Do you think, because the Hall of Game will outlast all of us, right? Do you think it's fair to put a game into this hall that has an expiration date on it? Because there's going to be a day when Apex Legends servers are shut down. That's the first question. And the second one is why this over Titanfall 2, which has multiplayer that will shut down at some point, but also has an incredible campaign.
Yeah. So I'll speak to your first question.
Sure.
It's a good question, but like, for example, Mike brought Halo 3 last time we were here. I almost said last week, but it's been months. And those servers will eventually shut down. Master Chief will eventually die, and his servers will go with him. But I think it's all about what the experience was at the height of it. And right now, Apex Legends is still in the height, and it's even growing. There's a lot of games that come out, like Fall Guys, for example, came out and had a huge spike in the latter half of last summer, and then has sort of fallen off since then. And Apex has just steadily been growing and growing and growing. And its most recent update just sort of proves that its popularity and its willingness to grow further. So I think that's a good point, but I do think this game has a long roadmap ahead of it. And what's your second question? Why is this more
Why this over Titanfall
willing?
2?
Yeah.
Because while it will also lose multiplayer, like you brought up for Halo, like still got that campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, the Titanfall 2, no doubt about it, is one of the best first-person shooter campaigns, for sure. Then the multiplayer is great, too. I messed around with it a little bit. But Apex Legends has just been updated more, and it's continued to be updated. And I feel like the value of this game is pretty incredible, where I've played so much of this and spent so little money into it. And I feel like Respawn just has the ability to continually update this game because the player base is so... it's just there for it and will continue to be there for it for quite some time, it seems. I think Titanfall should definitely be in the conversation in terms of its campaign. It has a great multiplayer, but I don't think it was supported as much as this game has been.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
You speak about value, but didn't they charge $20 for skins? And also, why not Fortnite? Those are my two questions. I'm sorry.
Those are
Uh,
good questions.
Thank you.
So there are lots of games out there right now, like multiplayer games and even single player games, that charge money for skins. But at the end of the day, they are optional. You don't have to buy them. There's no pay to win system. Marvel's Avengers does this. They have $20 skins or $14 skins, whatever it is. So I don't think that is a reflection of this game. I just think that's a reflection of the state of the industry, where a lot of multiplayer games, Call of Duty, for example, they just have $20 skins that you can buy if you want. You don't have to. I don't see a big problem with that. I do understand that could be a problem, but it is optional at the end of the day, and the main package of this is free, and the fact that you can just jump in and play a very competent and amazing shooter for free is pretty great. And why this over Fortnite? I think Fortnite's a great game, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of the draw for Fortnite is the building mechanic, and I feel like that is difficult for some people, myself included. And that can it becomes a little bit more competitive than people thought, I think, because of the building mechanic. And instantly when someone builds a fort, it's like, all right, well, I can't win now. Where in a way this game can be more approachable because it is just sort of more of a traditional shooter. So I think people can just sort of jump in. Although I feel like Fortnite is great for the skins and for the fact that it has, pretty much anything in there you want. But I feel like this is just, you jump in if you've played a first-person shooter before, you know what you're going to get, but you're going to be surprised by how great this game plays.
Thank you.
All right, Jack. So I figured that eventually you would bring Apex Legends, right? Like you're regarded as the Apex Legend, right? The Apex Predator, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And I like Apex Legends. You know what I'm saying? Like I still haven't tried the arenas mode yet, like you talked about, but that is something that I really should be checking out for sure. But as you were going, I was honestly trying to like poke holes in what you were saying, and I really couldn't find any. Right, like I agree with you on a lot of aspects about the ping system, like being one of the aspects that really did shake the industry, and like a lot of other games started to adopt that method, and the aspect of like respawning in a battle royale mode and all that. So I don't really have necessarily like a question about the game itself. Is this your favorite game of all time?
No, but it's my 10th favorite game of all time, according to my top 50 games of all time. Which is
like,
weird because, like,
I guess
yeah.
maybe like favorite like multiplayer.
Favorite
Like, is it like
battle
a favorite? Yeah, like is it like a favorite like anything to you? Like I just want to gauge like how much you love Apex Legends. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I would say this is easily my favorite battle royale, and I was hesitant when I was thinking about like making my top 50 games list or even top 10 favorite games list, this being so high up there, being so recent. But I feel like because multiplayer games just sort of come and go, you have a good sense of they tend to come and go. You have a good sense of the shakeout of what you'll think of those multiplayer games. And Apex has been around for 2 years, and it's, like I said, it continues to grow, and it hasn't really seen a dip at all. And it only continues to get better. So I have already been impressed. I was already impressed at launch. And 2 years out, I'm even more so impressed. So I feel like the care and guidance for this game has been so strong, and shows me that it will continue to be strong going forward. With such a big update we just got with arenas and introducing more lore from Titanfall and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just continually impressed by this game. I've never been let down by it. So that's just sort of how I think about it.
Good to know. I have taken notes of that, sir. I've taken note of it.
I have one more question. Sorry, I think hopefully we're fine on time.
Yeah,
but do you ever get like scared that like one bad patch will happen and you just don't have this game anymore? Like, not that the servers get shut down, but like, for me personally, like I remember like all it takes for me is one bad patch and then I'm out of a multiplayer game. sometimes. Like Uncharted 2 was one that broke my heart back in like 2010 or whatever. They just released update 104, and then I was like, oh, this game isn't for me anymore. Like,
yeah.
Do you ever had an experience? Sorry.
Well, recently one of my favorite guns is the Spitfire, which is an LMG. They nerfed it a little bit. But that didn't break the experience for me. Like, I still like using the gun, and I feel like there's so much in this game in terms of the variety of legends, the variety of weapons and abilities and stuff like that. If a few things are fixed, it's not going to break the whole. There's always going to be something different about the experience that I could always, lean back on. And they're always adding new stuff too. Like, there's always new weapons being added and stuff like that. So even if some things are patched and nerfed, I feel like it always evens out in the end. And there's been nothing for me at least, that has completely ruined any experience of the game so far.
I have one quick yes or no. Is every legend viable?
Yeah, in some ways or another.
Okay. Fair enough.
I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
I have one friend, but I don't have two friends. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I play this game by myself.
Okay, and the ping system really is that good?
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
For the majority of the 700 hours I've put into this, I've played by myself. Recently, I've been playing with Mike and Christian a lot, which is great. But if I'm just going by myself listening to podcasts, which is dumb, this is a podcast game for me. It's not intended to be that way. But if I'm just jumping in and doing Battle Pass stuff and trying to unlock different skins or whatever through the Battle Pass, I can just jump in by myself and use the ping system to great effect. It's just that good.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm all good. Yeah,
okay.
I'm all good.
Sweet. Now I can lay back.
Must be nice.
Yeah, bro. You get the nice, teacher. I'll go first.
So
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah.
Professor.
That's
I'll
what I
go
said last
first.
time, and I was
I
like,
love it.
man, it's the best going first because then it's
I'm
like
jealous.
I thought
jealous.
you were.
Judge.
At the bar.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
I thought you were gonna bring Jack too. I'm sorry.
Well, one day I'm gonna bring Jack too, and you're all gonna.
I'll be
go for
ready.
Alrighty. Well, great job, Jack. That is the first game down. We will spin the wheel again. In the meantime, does anybody need anything on the in-between time?
No.
All right.
I ran out of coffee. That's unfortunate.
No.
It's the last sip that's the worst. And what's even worse, it's the last sip that you forget that you took the last sip, and you think that the last sip is still in there, and it's not.
So
And then the tea bag comes crashing on your face, or that happens to me a lot.
Absolute worst.
So
Absolute worst.
the wheel spun. It was
Uh-oh.
slowing down, and then just by a hair, it went on to the next one. So next up, next presentation, Omar.
Oh fuck.
Let's go.
All right. I'm not gonna lie, I had a huge ego problem after winning last time. I was like, holy shit, I'm awesome. I'm so great. And I had to take a different approach with this one. So keep your expectations however you'd like. Just know that I overthought about this a lot.
Okay.
All
Do you
right,
need
sharing the
us,
screen.
Do you need us
What's up?
eyes closed while you're pulling it up?
No, we got this.
Okay.
I got this so fast. Everyone good? Everyone good here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Oh.
We ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully this is going
Oh, yeah.
good.
Timer. I'm sorry. Timer.
Oh yeah, you starting the timer?
Also, just to double check, warnings at what do we want warnings at?
Oh, for
Minutes?
times and
Like
stuff?
a minute and a
minutes,
half.
A minute and a half.
I
What
would
do we
say
want?
a minute and a half or 2 minutes.
Minute and a half sounds good here. This is not
Okay.
going to be long. You guys know what it is.
Okay.
I'm going to win. So it's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right. Metal Gear Solid 2. JK lol. Just kidding. Tony Hawk. I brought a man instead of the game.
Even
Let's
better.
talk about the man. He's one of the best guys around. He's humble. He's respectable. Maybe the coolest celebrity ever. He's only sold one NFT. He's a really nice guy. Maybe the best Twitter account. And he likes Radiohead. My brother saw him at the Moonshaped Pool Tour in LA. He has a video game series, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The Pro Skater series revived the skateboarding scene as it was dying in the 90s, breathing enough life into it to keep it going for decades later. it pushed skating into the mainstream. At this point, there was stuff like the Tony Hawk X Games stuff, but this really pushed skating and skate culture into the mainstream in a way. You know, that's where, I don't know, vans got super big and crazy wheels. I don't know, cool stuff. He inspired children to get out there and skate themselves. Some of those children becoming, quoted by Rodney Mullen, the best skateboarders in history. You know, some kids just played Tony Hawk Pro Skater and then got really into skating. I didn't. I just ended up playing games for the rest of my life. But kids better than me got really cool. The ultimate refinement of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is the third one, in my opinion. This one's the best. I have a copy of it right here. Just show off. Personal copy. Big fan. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Pro Skater in its final form to me, I think this is the one that really cemented what that series was at that point. It doubled the frame rate. It made it 60 frames per second. And I think that's important for Tony Hawk. Beforehand, the PS1 games were running at like 22, 23 frames per second. It was kind of janky. Great, though. It added Bam Margera from the Jackass films, and, you know, he's the videographer of CKY. And I think that does, I don't know if you guys can read this PowerPoint before I can, but yeah, that does, in my opinion, really tie in skating culture with the independent filmmaking scene that wasn't really represented in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, but was after this point. You know, we have games like Underground coming out after this where they actually went crazy with the Jackass stuff. And then, yeah, soundtrack, there's CKY, Del the Fucking Homo Sapien, Redman, Motorhead, Alien Ant Farm, Exhibit. All legends. And most importantly, it introduced the revert, which I think is why this is the seminal Tony Hawk game. The revert is the thing that lets those combos get stupid, right? Before, you get into a half pipe in Tony Hawk, and you do some big air, and you come crashing down, the combo ends. But with the revert, you can just press R2 after you land from a pipe, or you land onto a pipe, and that will keep the combo going, which I think is really important. Seeing this picture right here, I have a guy who's got a 36 million combo. Stuff like that wasn't possible in Pro Skater 1 and 2. And the revert was so important to the series that it had to be added to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, despite the fact those games didn't have reverts when they came out. But people don't want to play Tony Hawk without the revert anymore. And that was an innovation by Pro Skater 3, which I think was really cool. And that's all I have for today.
+1 for time. Look at that.
Very nice.
Yeah, 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to spare. I mean, if you want to say anything else, I mean, you know.
Nah, Pro Skater's really good, and Tony Hawk's awesome. Look at this slide again, real quick.
Yeah, man.
Let's look at this for like
Yeah.
2 minutes, and then we're good. All right.
Hey, you really caught me. I thought we were doing MGS too.
No, someday.
Well, does anybody have a question they want to start with?
Jack.
So, you had me, right, at Metal Gear Solid 2. Then you had me even more.
Oh.
Tony Hawk. You continued having me with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Never played it, but I understand its importance. But, you know, I'm curious why you chose this one over the seminal Tony Hawk game, Tony Hawk's Underground. The clear best one in the series.
Yeah, I understand. I could see this coming. I think Underground is fantastic. I think Underground 2 is fantastic. Legit, they're like as good as this. But I think the thing that separates those for me and why I think this game's important is this is the one that cements Tony's moveset, right? Underground is another game that honestly adds some stuff I don't even like. I don't like the fact that you can get off the board in that one. Not the biggest deal, but I think that's when the series starts going into the I know we talk about games putting the series on a wrong path sometimes, but I think Underground getting maybe too involved with the Jackass stuff, maybe the humor gets a little weird, and the getting off the board, I think, fine in those games, but later on kind of proved to be the downfall of Tony Hawk, I think. But great on their own. I think Pro Skater is the purest. You have just enough Jackass there, just one Bam Margera, and that's all you need.
Nice.
So,
I was being facetious. I don't actually think Underground is the best. I do love it.
Really?
That's my favorite.
Oh, okay. I thought you were an underground guy. My bad.
Oh, yeah. Underground was on a short list for me of bringing it to Hall of Game.
Oh, cool.
So just wanted to slide that in there.
Jack might not be an underground guy, but I sure am. I love underground too. And at the time, I'm sure I loved this stuff because I was like 8, right? But can you really accept that 3 introducing Bam Margera was a good thing?
Yeah, okay. I like Bam Margera.
Okay.
I know he's had a rough time recently, but I legit think Bam Margera was really cool. Like, I don't know. He was an independent filmmaker, right? He did Haggard. Like, I don't think anyone was doing that at that point in the way that he was, like, just selling his DVD out like that. And he just honestly was like the first CKY fan. He just loved his brother's band so much. He kept recording the video. You know that song that's like, burn it, you know that one? Like, I don't want to get copyright claimed on YouTube, so I'm doing that poorly. But like, he was just a fan, I think, and it was just enough, just enough jackass stuff. And I think, that independent filmmaking scene is really important to the skate culture as well. I don't want to like, never mind. You go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna add in on a more serious question. Do you think the series has only gotten worse since Pro Skater? Like, is this the peak? Pro Skater 3?
I think Pro Skater 3 was the peak, and then everything else was either it's not like they were bad. They were great games even. Like Pro Skater 4, I think is great, but that adds the spine transfer, which I don't think is really necessary. I don't think I'm always pining for the spine transfer. But the revert, I can't play a Tony Hawk game without that thing anymore. It's impossible. But like, honestly, like, if you want to say like Pro Skater 1+2 is like as good as 3, I think there's an argument for that. I just think 3 is the one that did it first and cemented it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, Mike. You're muted, I think.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
So, yeah, I had a question about games that are also sort of in this sphere, like skating games, that genre. What about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater do you think is like, better than your Skate 1 or Skate 2? Is it just because it has that connection to the Tony Hawk expanded universe? Or is it like, are there gameplay mechanics that you like better than that, than the other games, the skate games? What's your thoughts on that?
No, I actually do love Skate as well. And I think that game was equally important in terms of the time it came out and what it did for skating culture then, but I think a lot of this is Tony Hawk did do it first, but also if I have to pick, I think I do love Tony Hawk's brand of arcadey combos, and like Skate gets a little bit more into the realistic simulator kind. It's not really a simulator, but more realism kind of thing. And I think Tony Hawk is just more immediately fun. But yeah, great question.
So I don't have a lot of knowledge about skateboarding, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the meme of like Tony Hawk never gets recognized in public or whatever.
It's a good one.
That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge, to be completely honest with you. But you did bring up Exhibit, which I do know. Exhibit. Yeah. So I have 2 questions off that. One serious one and one kind of joking one. So the serious one is like, do you think that in your opinion, across the soundtracks of all the Tony Hawk games that you've played personally, is Pro Skater 3 the pinnacle as well in terms of being the peak in the franchise? And then also, is there any like Pimp My Skateboard customization type things going on with Pro Skater 3, right? Like
there's tons.
Exhibit, Pimp My Ride, is there any correlation with that?
You can customize a lot. I wouldn't say Pimp My Ride level.
Okay.
But you can customize your skater, you can customize your board, which I think is just enough for me. And what was your other question about the soundtrack?
Yeah. Like, do you regard that as a very, very high quality soundtrack, like overall?
Honestly, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 soundtracks are also phenomenal.
Okay.
But there's something about 3 soundtrack that I think is so unabashedly like early 2000s that I just love. This is the soundtrack that I imagine AJ was listening to in The Sopranos before he got his emo phase or whatever. I don't know, but like like the going from some hip hop like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, who later I think he goes featured on some Gorillaz tracks to Alien Ant Farm. I think it's a fantastic range. I was streaming this the other night, and Christian heard that Spider-Man song in my stream, the Ramones Blitzkrieg pop song. It's got bangers, I think it's, if not the best, one of the best. I love it.
I love bangers. Duly noted.
What fun characters in 3?
Man, Bam Margera. You should see some of his movies. He got this movie called The Jackass or The Human Dart, where he's like, just you gotta see it. I can't even describe it. There's the Neversoft Eyeball. Wolverine's in this one. Unfortunately, no Spider-Man. There's Officer Dick is here. Eliza Steamer's here. Rodney Mullen, classics. There's more. There's a lot more. I can't quite remember, but
was Darth Maul on this one?
Yes. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. This was the one Darth Maul debuted at because this was the same time Phantom Menace was coming out. You get what I'm saying? This game is the 2000s. I think this is the 2000s, and we all here love the 2000s. I think,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Justin's kids right here.
That's when I was happy.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Bunch of oh shit. Okay. Well.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that.
All right.
All good. Thank you.
Yeah, great presentation, Omar.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm so happy to bring Tony Hawk.
Very nice. The wheel is spinning. Next up is Kevin Diaz.
Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, no ladies here, gentlemen. I want to direct everyone to the Discord chat. There's a link there called TKD Hall of Game. It's an unlisted link, so we're gonna just queue up that, and we're gonna all watch this little video together. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to play it at the same time as you? Is that how we're doing this?
So the way it's working out, because I'm gonna have audio coming in through my end and it going out to the stream. So the way we decided is we're gonna sync it. We're gonna do 3, 2, 1. Probably have everybody muted during it. We'll all be watching it individually, and the stream will be seeing and hearing what I'm seeing and hearing, and then once it's over, we'll reconvene, unmute, then talk. Because it's 6 minutes, give or take like 10 seconds or something like that.
Sounds like a plan.
So let me just make sure that this is gonna work for you. Let me pull that up. Okay, window capture. Let's see here.
Yeah, so I say we'll do a nice little, or like I'll do a nice little countdown, whatever. Then we'll go on play, and then we'll just mute Discord.
Sure. Let me just maximize this for you. Okay. So are we prepared to sync?
I am all prepped at 0.
Good.
Okay. At 0, Kevin, you can count us down.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, and then click play when I say play. Okay, gentlemen.
Sure.
Right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, the panel, JoyClick's Hall of Game, episode 2. I'm back. That's right, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? I took a bit of an L, episode 1. You know what I'm saying? I had forgotten that, I was in a panel of individuals that may have not saying a total bias, but maybe a slight bias towards Nintendo games, right? Considering that the 2 Hall of Games for episode 1 are both Nintendo games, there's completely no conspiracy behind that. While I gave one of the most famous PlayStation IPs ever, but I figured I need to bring in the big one. I need to bring in the big dog. That is, of course, Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Call of Duty Black Ops 1 dominated the gaming space on all 3 points that this game has to offer. From, of course, the single-player story campaign, from the multiplayer, to the cooperative zombies experience in Black Ops 1. But let's start from the top here. Let's ring over some facts at how big Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was for the scene when it came out in 2000. 2011. Within 24 hours of its release, Black Ops has sold a combined total of 5.6 million units in the US and UK market, surpassing that of Modern Warfare 2 and establishing a new record for largest entertainment launch ever. The largest entertainment launch ever. Only 5 days after its release, sales from the game worldwide reached $650 million, surpassing the previous record achieved by none other than Modern Warfare 2, which earned $550 million in 5 days. That's an extra $100 million if my math is correct. 550 to 650, that's definitely 100. Let's keep it going. By December 22nd, worldwide revenue of Black Ops exceeded $1 billion. That's not gross. That's not gross sales. That is revenue. Now let's go into how exactly Black Ops 1 really did dominate on all 3 points that I tried to do. Now first, let's talk about, of course, the best story campaign in Call of Duty history is within Black Ops 1. Of course, you have the Cold War era vibes. That was the first time we've seen Call of Duty go into this era. We had brainwashing soldiers. We had inspirations by real life events like Bay of Pigs, Cuban Missile Crisis, and Nova 6 chemical weapons. And of course, the numbers, Mason. What do they mean? What do they mean? You know what I'm saying? The twists and turns of the campaign still follow many fans and is legitimately a great video game story while being educational in a lot of ways as well. The whole game is not historically accurate. I'm not trying to say that, and that wasn't really the point of it, but there are a lot of things that you could really learn a thing or two about the Cold War era using Black Ops story. It's a fantastic story, and you're lying if you say it's not. Next up here, the best zombies experience in any Call of Duty period, okay? Kino der Toten, the map that came with the game, goated. Ascension, not only the first DLC for Black Ops 1, but also the first, multi-step Easter egg that came with the zombies map, goated. Call of the Dead, it's pretty fire. It's not my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite. Shout out to George Romero, RIP, but not my favorite Call of Duty zombies map. Shangri-La, it did take me 12 hours to beat this Easter egg with some friends, so it was a very, very long Easter egg process that we just had a lot of, resets in, and it's a hard map, but overall, goated. Moon, goated. Pound for pound, the best zombies mode was here in Black Ops 1, offering great perks, wonder weapons like the Thunder Gun, and great maps that are memorable, but just in general, as they just don't make COD maps like this anymore. But of course, the main cream of the crop with Black Ops 1 is, of course, the multiplayer. The multiplayer brought COD points, allowing you to earn them through normal gameplay as opposed to purchasing them with real money, which that wasn't the trend back then in 2011. And it allowed you to purchase what you want after unlocking said item, given a specific level requirement in your play sessions. It also brought in fun wager matches too with the COD points, which were absolutely so fun. Gun game, one in the chamber, sticks and stones, classic party mode games that really let you have a little fun as opposed to the competitive nature of Black Ops 1 multiplayer. Theater mode as well, bringing that to the scene, allow players that did not have a capture card to be able to go back and save those clips and save those really cool matches in game all by itself within the game's code. Custom emblems, which yes, they did get abused, I'm not gonna lie, but custom emblems were there, better player cards, but above all else, the multiplayer was balanced for the first time in a while in the COD series up until that point. We all remember Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is one of the great CODs as well, but Modern Warfare 2 as a whole, at its core, is a broken game. But of course in Black Ops 1, other than the FAMAS, to be honest, everything else across the board is definitely balanced, and I feel like it is a much better multiplayer experience than Modern Warfare 2 as a whole. So my personal opinion here, listen guys, is that Black Ops 1 defined an era for me growing up in gaming. I loved Black Ops 1 with all my heart. I would eagerly wait till the weekend till I can play Black Ops 1 with my friends all night and stay up till 6 in the morning playing Black Ops 1, whether it be multiplayer matches, whether it be zombies, whether it be, grinding an Easter egg, or whether it be grinding, different guns and different attachments in multiplayer. Overall, Black Ops 1 was a fantastic game, and you're lying if it's not your favorite Call of Duty either.
Voila, ladies and gentlemen.
Just the one game, huh?
Voila. It's gonna be the one.
It takes up 3 slots.
It's gonna be the one. Yes,
Okay.
it's enough for 2. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Quick flag forging official documents. That is a counterfeit.
Oh man.
But before we do questions, one thing I would like to suggest, just for the fairness of everything, we already have a nominated first-person shooter. I don't know if it would be fair to compare them directly against each other.
No, I wasn't going to.
Oh yeah, no, like I wasn't going to add it. Yeah.
No, okay.
Oh,
I just want to throw
I'm
that
not.
out there as an option.
I'm not asking myself questions anyway, but
No,
I
know.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, on my.
I noticed, or maybe I missed it, but did you mention Dead Ops Arcade at all?
I did not. But that is also. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, shout out to the Cosmic Silverback, of course. I didn't spend a lot of time on Dead Ops Arcade, but definitely tip of the hat nod here right now. Dead Ops is a cool side thing for sure. But I just didn't spend a ton of time with it, so I just don't want to bring it up because of that. But shout out to Dead Ops.
Shout out to Dead Ops.
Yes, big fan. Yes, Jack, please.
You said if Call of Duty Black Ops isn't your favorite Call of Duty, you're lying. My favorite Call of Duty is Call of Duty World at War. Why am I lying?
World at War.
In other words, why is Black Ops the best Call of Duty?
Black Ops is the best, just pound for pound. Like I just think it excels in all three aspects. Like that was the main thesis, right? But World at War is a decent pick. I just feel like it definitely is like the first step, right? Because World at War and Black Ops are connected universes, right? Like that's the same story that we're telling there. And World at War is a great pick. That's where zombies started, right? Of course. But within Black Ops, you did get the release of the other World at War zombies maps in Black Ops, and I think those are better playing games overall and better playing maps as a whole. But just World at War, I think, is less impressive when you look at the comparative COD that was COD 4 previously that year, where a lot of people actually stuck around and stayed with COD 4 for 2 years and didn't bother to go to World at War. That just speaks to obviously how good COD 4 was back in the day. But I think in that facet, like you did not have that with Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, right? Where like you had a lot of people move to Black Ops just because of it was just a better overall game. Like I think multiplayer wise, it opened up to a lot better kill streaks and just the overall. I just think that it was a clear step up in terms of gameplay and the engine that they were on, which is a refined Quake engine as well. But World at War is not bad, not my favorite, but I think objectively, I think Black Ops is a better game. Yeah. Yes, Mike.
Got a question about the multiplayer.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of your presentation, which was very, very good, by the way, was centered around Black Ops multiplayer. And this is not necessarily my opinion, but from the time I remember a lot of people were giving Call of Duty kind of shit just because it seemed like it was a carbon copy every single year. In what ways do you think like this multiplayer kind of stands out from like the rest of them, especially the ones that came out like sort of adjacent and like bookending this one?
Yeah, I think the aspects of wager matches and having COD points was a really big factor of where like there in like Modern Warfare 2, right? Like for example, right? Like there wasn't really a super casual like party playlist that you could go into, right? Like it was pretty not like entirely sweaty, but it was you just had the core multiplayer modes and that's it, right? Where with multiplayer and Black Ops, you had the opportunity to go and do party games, right? You could do one in the chamber, 6 in zones, and different stuff like that, and kind of have a more of a just chill out fun factor to the multiplayer experience. I would also attribute the aspect to the custom emblem editor was definitely a thing that a lot of people used. Admittedly, in very bad ways, for sure. That's just what happens, right? But I think it really bolstered the attitude of having a multiplayer, account that is personalized to you. I think that's when they really started to let the players have a lot of choice in the emblem and you being able to even put the emblem on your weapon, right? Like, and even put your clan tech on your weapon. Like, just little things that really made your quote unquote like COD soldier account like more personable in the multiplayer space. And yeah, like I believe this one I'm not 100%, but like I believe when it was in Black Ops where they started kind of messing with the multiplayer playlist, where they started adding like different playlists and doing double XP weekends and different stuff like that, which wasn't as prevalent in Modern Warfare 2. So I think overall, like even the development team at Treyarch definitely tried to make a very engaging multiplayer mode from modes they were adding to how personal you can make your classes be. So,
Thanks.
Of course.
I don't think anything you said was incorrect, Kevin, in terms of the reputation Black Ops has. Like, personally, at least, I will agree with everything you said. It's my most played Call of Duty. And I don't have much experience with Black Ops 2, 3, 4, Cold War, but I think a lot of your presentation, which was very good, was defining this era of COD, and I think because it's so iconic, there's nostalgia there. Do you think there's been an over-reliance on Black Ops 1 with its sequels that are holding them back from being as good as this one ever was, if they're just trying to like play off of the original? Not that would hurt the game, but just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep milking that cow. It's like, oh yeah, Black Ops 1,
Yeah.
you love it, don't you? Like, do you think
Right.
that because of how iconic it is, it might have be holding back future Black Ops games? Because it sounds like they've never been better than this one, for Black Ops at least.
I think that it didn't help. It didn't hold back the future Black Ops series. I think that Treyarch, does a really good job at like, yes, right, like the reason why Black Ops Cold War exists today, and why there is Black Ops in there is because of selling potential, right? Like that's not even up for debate, right? But I think when you look at Black Ops 2, right, that's where we got the introduction to the Pick 10 system, where we're able to, hey, I don't want to bring a secondary into my class. I can do another perk. And with the wildcard system and different stuff like that, right? So that was the big change in Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3, we had the refinement of the booster pack COD era, right? That was not seen as great to the wide COD fan base for sure, right? Like that's a pretty dark time in COD overall, but Black Ops 3 was the best out of that era in terms of just having a fluid movement system that wasn't as springy and jumpy as like Advanced Warfare, and it was a bit more of a refined movement in that aspect. So I think that's what I would give Black Ops 3 for that as well. Black Ops 4, not so much, but like I think overall, like I wouldn't say that the other Black Ops are like super anchored down because of the original Black Ops. I feel that all of the best things, started with Black Ops, and like, bringing on different characters like, Alex Mason in the Woods and different stuff like that. Well, while that's not like super unique because the Modern Warfare series has its characters, Captain Price, Soap, etc. I really think that like they just had the best like starting foundation with Black Ops that propelled them to higher heights, even when you look at the zombies mode as well, which I think it's like one of its high pinnacles is Black Ops 3 for sure, but I think there's nothing that beats Black Ops 1 zombies overall. So yeah, I'd say it's more iterative. Like it definitely had like a super good foundation that the other installments were able to build upon.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I like that game a lot too, Kevin. That's all I got.
Black Ops 1's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, And I bet like everyone here could even say like what the numbers were. You know what I'm saying? I bet everyone remembers what exactly the numbers were.
I honestly can't.
I don't.
Really? No one?
It's been a while.
Guys, it was.
Wait.
It was launch
It was
codes?
No.
No, okay, I don't know.
No. It was the coordinates to Vorkuta, which was the Tulska? I forgot what it's called, but like it was the coordinates of the ship that had the nuke on it that they were gonna launch. You know what I'm saying? So it was all Shima coordinates, which like CIA, like I figured they would probably be able to decipher that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Also,
Gotta have a game.
Main menu, we're able to bust out of the chair, like good stuff, man. Terminal in the back for Black Ops, good stuff, man. Black Ops
Terminal? Was that in Black Ops?
No, there was like the back, not like the map in Modern Warfare 2. No, not that.
All right.
But like the terminal that you can get up out of your seat in the main menu, and you could go and like
Right.
it was like this old school computer that you can go to in the back of the main menu. Yeah,
That's how you launch Jet Ops, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think eventually they patched it into just like a menu item, but
I see.
I think it was there. Yeah.
This was the game that you could play as JFK and like Nixon.
I also forgot to bring up that. Yeah, 5. Of course.
True.
Yes,
Zombies.
of course.
Yeah, isn't one of the
who-
zombies
yeah.
maps
Awesome.
like the airport or something, or like
No,
something nuts?
It's
No, it's in the
It's the
Pentagon.
Pentagon.
Pentagon. Yeah, right. That's just awesome.
It's a Pentagon. Yeah, that was dope with the DEF cons. Oh man, dude, shout out to man. Good
For-
stuff.
Robert McNamara's like, oh, zombies, these guys. It's amazing.
So
Was this the first time Romero collabed with Activision on this, or was he dead at this
Yes.
point?
No,
Okay.
he was still alive. He played like the big roaming.
yeah,
I'm not even sure what that was, but yeah, like he was the big roaming character like in Call of the Dead. Yeah,
Awesome.
and there was like a lot of high level celebs in that.
That was
mode,
DLC.
too. Yeah.
Or
Yeah, that was the second DLC. Yeah.
I
Call of
didn't
Duty.
get any of the DLC, unfortunately, but man, it was a time.
I hear you. I hear you.
since it's another Activision game, I'll ask the same question I asked Omar. Call of Duty's never been better than this. This is the peak.
From a personal standpoint, yes. I think there's ways that you can easily argue out of that, right? Like I think, in terms of like one of the biggest drawbacks when you go back to Black Ops is that netcode, right? Like there's plenty of times where you get shot, when you turn a corner and you shouldn't have been damaged, right? And that's just the nature of it. I would chalk it up just being an old game, online multiplayer definitely was during that era, during PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and different stuff like that. So I would just call it like, just early days of multiplayer, relatively speaking, to like from like a console mass wide stand base. So I think from a gameplay level, you could probably definitely, argue against that fact. But I think the overall tone and the way that, just the sound of Black Ops, just the overall package, like just is so through and through has a theme and just sticks with that theme, right? And it's not like, when you boot up like the average game right now, right? Like you probably have in your multiplayer game right now, you probably have your character standing in the middle of the screen, and then they're like doing some random like animations and stuff like that. Like I feel like in like Black Ops there was a cohesive theme that they had that felt unique to the time for sure. So that's why I love it. 10 out of 10.
Very nice.
And that's about it. If anyone had any questions, feel free. But that's all she wrote.
Okay.
Shout out to that.
Wheel is spinning. We got 2 big slices of pizza left on this thing.
Oh shit.
Can I just say that I can't believe
Thank
there's
you, thank
2
you.
Activision games and 1 EA game so far.
Who's bringing a Ubisoft game?
Yo!
Okay.
Oh,
Next up, Mike Connors.
Let's go.
Let's go. So I have a presentation. Is the best way to do it just to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will highlight your presentation.
Halo 2.
Yeah, could you imagine? Hold on a second.
It's still loading. Oh wait, maybe I should get out of that.
Wait a sec.
All good. Honestly,
Omar,
oh, go ahead.
I don't understand how you're able to go behind the second lens flare on the left of you.
So it's a
even
transparent ping, PNG.
But like, I didn't know
Over me.
you could. I don't know. I didn't know that you could put things in front of you. And does that make sense?
I'm an OBS. Yeah. I got the background lens flare, then my webcam, and then a little transparent lens flare over my webcam.
Oh, there's 2 separate. I see. I
Mhm.
thought it was one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I see.
No.
The 2 separate. That makes sense.
It's for the ground zeros layout, but I've been
I
lazy.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I'm not sure what's going on, but it's not letting me share my Chrome.
Oh no. Oh no.
Can you?
You want one of us to present it for you or something, or like just like not present it
I
for you, but
mean-
like display it on the screen?
I'm like, holy shit, someone's gonna.
I think I
just-
shared it. I shared it with Christian. Sorry for the technical difficulty.
It's all
no
good.
worries.
Let me pull it up. Do you?
I don't know what's going on.
Let me check real quick. So far,
Kevin,
though,
did you like? Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say great picks tonight so far tonight. Very good picks.
Oh, I'm excited.
Omar, were you telling me something?
I was gonna ask you if you like Modern Warfare 2019 or not, because I really like that one too. Personally, I think my top three are probably Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, and then 19. But
Modern Warfare 2019's, it's okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't love it, but I did say
but
like,
shoot
hey,
house and shipment.
yeah,
shoot the ship.
I don't know. Shoot the
Alright,
ship.
so-
Yeah, like I will say like. I was saying that, hey, like if Black Ops 1 isn't your favorite COD, you're lying. That's like kind of like the only one that I really accept is Modern Warfare 2. If you put Modern Warfare 2 above Black Ops, I totally understand that, but
All right.
I like Black Ops 1 more.
I think we should be good, Mike. Let me highlight this, and I will tab through it for you. So just tell me when to hit next slide. Okay.
Will do.
All right. Go for it.
Thank you.
Oh wait, timer.
Can everyone see? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
good.
Better about this.
All right, gentlemen. Please, gentlemen, please join me in a thought experiment. I need your full cooperation for this. Please, next slide. Imagine a Western, all right? Think your Clint Eastwoods, your John Waynes, the good, the bad, the ugly, the scene of a dusty 1870s saloon on the wild American frontier. Next slide. That is also a playable RPG. So combine those themes and tropes of Westerns and popular culture with the extremely replayable nature of a fully fleshed out post-apocalyptic role-playing video game that can be completed in first person. And what you have, ladies and gentlemen, just gentlemen, is, next slide, Fallout New Vegas. All right, so this is why I believe Fallout New Vegas should be in the Joyclicks Hall of Game. Next slide, please. So starting off with the story, though Fallout New Vegas is one of many in a franchise, it's not the first one by any means. It was the next installment after Fallout 3, which kind of reinvigorated the franchise. It was developed by Obsidian and published by Bethesda. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic 2281 year 2281 version of Las Vegas called New Vegas. You play as the courier who was shot in the head by a mobster while working for the Mojave Express. You awaken left for dead, you track down your would-be killer, and you get embroiled in the politics of diverse factions who are desperate to seize control over the Mojave wasteland. There's a lot of factions that you can get involved in while you're playing the game. There are a lot of endings that you can sort of end up with while playing the game. Every single action that you make, people who you kill, people who you don't kill, speech checks that you don't pass, speech checks that you do pass could have an effect on the ending of the game. So it's very involved in that sense. Next slide, please. So let's talk about the gameplay here. You can switch from third person to first person basically whenever you want. Most people play the game, I think, in first person. Third person, admittedly, not the greatest way to play the game, but you can do it. There's the crafting and modding of guns. That's something that was new in the Fallout franchise. You can play blackjack, you can play roulette, slots, and caravan, which is kind of like Pazak. If you ever played Knights of the Old Republic, kind of gives me the same vibes. But having it sort of fits in with the Vegas sort of landscape and setting, and it's very, very interesting and a pretty cool piece of the gameplay. Reputation is an interesting part of the game. Some factions will just not like you depending on what you do and what you say, and that can make the game quite difficult. So there is a lot, like I said before, a lot of different ways that the game can be played, a lot of different ways that the game can end up, and reputation has a big part of it. There's also hardcore mode, which is another first for the Fallout franchise, I believe. Was not in Fallout 3 by any chance. So this is completely optional. You can use it, and you're totally, dependent on food and water, and it completely changes the way the game is played. VATS has a pretty decent improvement, which is the automatic targeting system from Fallout 3. So it makes actually playing a first-person shooter a little bit easier, since the Fallout games don't have the best track record with being the most a usable first-person shooter. But I digress. Perks and skill points have a direct effect on the game as played. This is pretty common to RPGs, but barter and speech checks galore in this game. If you don't have a high speech and you don't have a high barter, it's just going to make the game a lot more difficult for you. And not to mention, it has an extremely compelling story. Every character is interesting. Every character is unique. And like I said before, one of the reasons why I like it was the fact that, there are many different endings. So that's part of the story that I like. Next slide, please.
Minute 30.
I would be remiss. Thank you. I'm almost done. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the humor and creativity of the game. It's probably one of the funniest games I've ever played. It humanizes itself through making fun of itself and sort of not taking itself too seriously. Has awesome music from the 50s and 60s, great writing, interesting side quests, incredible voice acting, and real-life places devastated by a fictional apocalyptic nightmare to explore. Next slide, please. And some true facts that I cannot deny. The game's really buggy, but sometimes the bugs are kind of part of the fun, except when they're not and they ruin a save. But like this screenshot here, that's harmless to me. It's kind of silly, and it's sort of indicative of like Bethesda games and just Fallout in general. So yeah, that's a fact. Definitely, it's buggy, but in some ways, I think it sort of adds to the experience. And it also sort of looks like crap, but I like it. That's just me, though. Next slide, please. I'm basically done here. I think I've said enough. This game freaking rules. Help bring first-person RPGs to mainstream. I don't even know if that's true. I kind of just threw it in there. And it'll live on forever in my heart. Thank you so much.
9 seconds to spare. Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Thank you.
Very nice, Mike.
Thank you for thank you for doing that for me, Christian. I appreciate it.
No problem. Glad I can help. Okay, let me pull up the logo. Let's see, Mike. There we go. All right. Who's got questions?
Hit me. Jack.
So I love this game too. But do you think it was a hindrance for the sequel to Fallout 3? In a lot of ways, New Vegas kind of is, even though it is an offshoot. Do you think it was a hindrance to have Obsidian come and work on this game rather than Bethesda and Big Daddy Todd?
Yeah, so it is true. Bethesda developed and published the first Fallout 3. Bethesda did publish this game, but Obsidian worked on it. In some ways, I honestly think Obsidian's involvement may have made this game a little bit better. I think that they had a sort of like removed view of the Fallout franchise that Bethesda may not have been able to have at the time. And in my understanding regarding the development of Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, they're kind of done at the same time. For the most part, Obsidian sort of just like took the basic way Fallout 3 was made and how that played, and just sort of went off on their own with it. Obsidian since I feel like this has sort of made Obsidian, or at least like made. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just think that this game is so much different than Fallout 3. It brings a different sort of lens to which you can like look through the Fallout franchise, and saying that it's a hindrance, I don't necessarily agree with. I think if anything, it sort of added to the overall franchise as a whole.
Excellent.
I have a couple questions. I never played this one, but I'm just wondering, how big are the scorpions? Are there scorpions? Are they big?
There are scorpions, and they're massive.
All right.
Lots of cool enemy types in this game. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Different ones that you well, I think the interesting thing about Fallout is depending on the setting, there are different sort of or the location of the Fallout game, there are different sort of enemies. You see that with Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. So yeah, big scorpions, big death claws, lots of other big mutated creatures, that's for sure.
My next question is why this over Obsidian's Outer Worlds or this over Bethesda's Massachusetts native Fallout 4? If I may ask.
Yeah, well, I mean, as someone who lives in Massachusetts, I feel like I would be sort of moved towards Fallout 4, but in some ways, I don't think Fallout 4 had the I think Fallout New Vegas has a certain sort of character to it, a certain sort of heart that Fallout 4 just didn't necessarily have from the get-go. I talked a little bit about the humor of Fallout New Vegas. I don't think that Fallout 4 really sort of did that in the way that Fallout New Vegas did. When it comes to the Outer Worlds, I played a little bit of that game, and honestly, I just felt like I was playing Fallout New Vegas in space. It sort of just felt like the same, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I love the Outer Worlds, but Fallout New Vegas kind of did it first, in my opinion. So,
thank you.
Kevin, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I have two questions. One, so I also have never played this game, but I have, deduced that within the title of it, right, New Vegas. I'm assuming it takes place in Las Vegas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any significant or insignificant or minor calls to very, very close to Las Vegas? Is one Arizona? Is there any type of name drop, any type of tumbleweed cactus type vibe, anything like that?
Well, if you're looking for tumbleweed cactus type vibe, I feel like Fallout New Vegas is mostly that.
Yes, yeah.
Admittedly, I've never been to Nevada or Arizona, but like I said, there are a lot of just the Western, the sort of Western tropes and everything just really come through in Fallout New Vegas, and so I don't know if I'm generalizing, but I sort of get the vibe of that area of the United States while I play this game. I don't know if there's any specific Arizona references. I'm sure there are. It's
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would consider Vegas geography speaking very similar to a desert type of vibe, right? So that really checks out. But I did want to ask, right? So I do know of this game a lot, just not a lot about it, but I just know of this game just because of what it means to a lot of people out there, right? What would you say, if you could even say the one aspect of New Vegas that really changed the game for massive open world RPGs from a first person perspective, or just in general? Is there one specific thing that you saw echo throughout the industry for future games to take inspiration from?
Truly, I'm not sure if this mechanic is something that had existed before Fallout New Vegas, or I'm sure it has after. But one thing that at least was different in the Fallout franchise that I thought New Vegas did really well, and that sort of added to the series as a whole, was the reputations and the different factions and stuff. That was not in Fallout 3. That was something added to Fallout New Vegas, and I thought that the developers did a really good job sort of weaving those into a story that changes as you make decisions. Knights of the Republic is one game that I think of that has a lot, the story changes a lot based on the decisions that you make. It's not necessarily faction based as much as Fallout New Vegas is. But that's just something that I think about when I think about Fallout. It's something that Fallout 4 ended up taking under its wing, doing the whole factions and reputation thing. And to me, it kind of adds a lot of replayability to the game too, in the sense that you can ally with one side, and then spend 100 hours doing that, and then start a brand new game and spend 100 hours just allying yourself with the complete opposite side and get a completely different experience. That's, like I said, I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to say that had existed before. It probably did. But in terms of the Fallout franchise, I think that was like a big watershed moment for it.
I see. Okay.
2 questions. One, do you think... Because I haven't played this game either. I played Fallout 4. And I tried Fallout 3, and I did not enjoy what I played of it, mainly because of visuals. And I like the vibe of New Vegas, but one of the main complaints I hear about it, and it's mainly all the Fallouts, like even 4 to a degree, but the gunplay isn't great. Like, combat isn't tight. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a shooter, and that's not the genre it is, but do you think VATS is a good enough substitute to make combat satisfying when, like, aiming and shooting a gun isn't?
Honestly, yes. I never thought Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas like had tight gunplay whatsoever. I even mentioned that, I think, in my presentation. Like, it's just not like, it's not what you want out of like a first person shooter. It's definitely more, inclined towards like the RPG aspect of it. I would say, though, in Fallout New Vegas, it was demonstrably better than Fallout 3 in the fact that you can actually like use the iron sights on your gun. That's something that wasn't in Fallout 3 for whatever reason. But VATS specifically, I always thought was like a really interesting way to like sort of bridge that gap, because the gunplay and the first person shooting in this game is trash. When you can use VATS and sort of slow down time, it sort of turns it into like a turn-based sort of way of combat, which I thought was really interesting. And it is also really fun to see everything slow down and you just like blow a head off like a super mutant or something in slow motion. That's kind of fun.
Okay, and the other question I had was, we don't have an RPG in the hall yet. Do you think, just within the Bethesda stable, like, Skyrim is very influential? If it came down to, like, do you think Fallout New Vegas is worthy of getting in before something like a Skyrim, just in terms of its influence and your points that you gave today?
I mean, in terms of influence, I think Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas came out before Skyrim, and Fallout 3 came out before both of those. Obviously, like, we had Morrowind and all that kind of stuff, and Oblivion. But Fallout 3 specifically, I think, like, really reinvigorated the type of RPG that this is. And in my opinion, I think Fallout New Vegas is a much more fleshed out story with like a much more creative paths that you can take as a player, that I think it's definitely more worthy of being in the Hall of Game than like a Skyrim. That's just my opinion. I mean, I personally, like, I've played Skyrim. I just have always liked Fallout more than Elder Scrolls. I guess it's just my own personal preference, but just in terms of just the way that this sort of trailblazed, in terms of reputation and everything, and just the story and everything, I think it deserves to be in there before Skyrim or any other Elder Scroll game. Cool. Any other questions?
I'm personally all good. I don't know about y'all.
All right.
I don't know about the panel, but yeah, I'm all good.
I think we're good.
All right. Thank you.
I already asked my Scorpion one. That's all I got.
Well done, Mike. You guys did not
Thank
make
you.
it easy for me. Jesus. Okay.
What is? Oh, yo, he said, "Hey, that is it. I'm dipping." He's like, "Yo, I'm good. That's it. It's a
That's
Mike
wrap."
said all he needed to.
Okay.
I
Let
wonder
me
what question's gonna bring. I
set
wonder.
mine up.
I'm trying to think.
Another Nintendo launch game, Kevin.
I swear, if it's another,
Breath
if
of the
it's a-
Wild.
If it's Breath of the Wild,
So
I'm
gonna
Super
need,
Mario Sunshine.
I'm gonna need all of you to either close your eyes or do something just so I can set this up. And I'll let you know when you're good to
All right.
I'm betting on Wii Sports Resort, which is legitimately a good game. All right. I'm gonna click watch stream, but
Not
I'm
yet,
not
not
looking.
yet. Okay.
Oh no, not
Mike,
yet. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
I'm
The first
minimizing
slide of
everything.
your presentation, Mike, I thought you were gonna bring Red Dead Redemption, and I was like,
That's
holy
what I
shit.
thought too. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. Yeah.
And then I was trying to figure out if it was 1 or 2. I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
I was thinking about being like, oh, Red Dead Redemption. Just kidding, but
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
I didn't want to get your hopes up.
No, it's okay.
All right, you guys can open your eyes now and view the stream.
Oh snap.
Are we prepared?
Let me get your timer going. Good old sir.
All right, can you give me a countdown?
Yep.
And
3.
I was gonna say 3-minute and 1-minute warning, please.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Proceed.
So, summer session. This is the second Hall of Games ceremony. I thought, I already won the first time, so second one, let loose, have some fun with this. Last time, just to recap, we recognized greatness, which we define as unsurpassed in one's field. Clearly, Mario 64 voted in for the right reasons. The theme today is innovation, because we know 3D Mario was perfected. The ideas of 3D Mario, though, were expanded and developed upon, creating brand new genres, countless things. Most of the games we talked about tonight have a 3D camera. Mario did that. Innovation's the theme. Innovation is defined as a new method, idea, product. Innovation creates legacy, and legacy becomes legend. So today, for your consideration, Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, the grandfather of open world gaming. So what is Jak and Daxter?
This guy.
Jak and Daxter is a 3D platformer released on the PS2 by Naughty Dog. You travel across the world through 3 main hubs to collect power cells. You live a story of saving the people from this climate catastrophe. You're saving the planet, environmentally friendly. It has a story. Mario 64 doesn't have that. You watch your best friend slowly go through a personal crisis. But I know you may already be wondering, why is this special? We already have a platformer in. By the way, no loading screens in this game. No loading times. There's an initial load when you boot it up. But if you see on the map here, southwest, you start in Sandover Village. All these named locations you can go to from the first initial load go all the way to Golem Eye's Citadel at the end of the game in one sitting. Not waste a single breath, not waste a single moment of your time on a loading screen. Who needs a goddamn PS5? So, let's talk about the innovation it does for Mario 64. Mario 64, like we said, 3D platforming, the structure there. You go to a level, you collect some things, you do some things, you get some things, you can progress. That is refined here because each level, 16 levels total. You have 7 power cells to collect with a total of 101. You have to collect a certain number to progress by bringing them to your girlfriend, who's this genius inventor. She'll use the power cells to bolster a machine she's made for you to travel through harsher terrain, because we know the environment is the big deal here. There's a strong incentive, there's a satisfying loop to collecting things, as we established, because Mario 64 is already a great, and you are rewarded with a fun little animation every time you get a power cell. So I figured, you sit down in one sitting, you can play this game in one sitting. Let's go through the entire game in this presentation. Sandover Village, you start there. You can go to the west, you got Geyser Rock. You got the main village. You got Sentinel Beach, the Forbidden Jungle, Misty Island. And I do ask that you look at some of these screenshots I provided. They aren't for every level in each location, but there's enough just to get a good sense of the variety, the locations in the game. After Sandover Village, you get 20 power cells. You can power up this motorbike to go through Fire Canyon, go to the next area, and continue just saving some stuff. That's Rock Village. Thank you. Rock Village has the village location, the Lost Precursor City, as we see on the right, which is basically just a full-blown Zelda dungeon in this game. Boggy Swamp on the left with a brand new mount to go through some new locations, and the Precursor Basin. Then you go to the Mountain Pass once you get a certain number of cells again. And your bike's a little faster, it can take a few more hits, but you're like, why is this special? I already did this. In the middle of it, you get thrown off the bike, you gotta fight this giant. This precursor giant, this precursor legacy that's haunting you the entire game. All this tech, these ruined civilizations. This guy's reawoken from the dead to fight you. Then you get to the Red Sage Village. There's the village there as well. Volcanic Crater, as you see on the right. Snowy Mountain, and Spider Cave. Again, this game's got diversity, and it's all in one single load. When you boot the game up, then you go to the Lava Tube, which once again, you hop on your bike, but this time, it's powered up. You got a heat shield, because you're going to need all the defense you can get in Golem Eye's Citadel. Here, all your friends have been captured, all the powerful stages are locked down, environment is going to be completely destroyed. Meanwhile, while you're platforming, saving everybody, there's this giant precursor monolith sleeping this whole time. And when you beat it, when you get to the top of this place and you save everybody, you gotta fight it on top of everything. So, it is a seamless adventure. I know what you're thinking. There has to be some trick. There has to be some shimmy through a thing. There's none. There's none of that. Every location's full of intricate platforming, mini games, races. You can fish. You can ride a bike. There's tons of stuff you can do to collect power cells. Let's talk about why you may be hesitant. Naughty Dog. We like Naughty Dog on the panel, some of us. Surely there should be another Naughty Dog game that should get in first. I'll tell you why Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, should get in first. Naughty Dog has never nailed it on their first shot. There's 3 Naughty Dog franchises represented here. I think all of these are better than the original. I think we can all agree on that. With the exception of Jak and Daxter. They nailed it out the gate. I want you to look at these 3 box arts. Do a little vibe check. What's up here? Jak and Daxter. Fun adventure. E for everyone. Anybody can play this game. What do you see with Jak 2 and Jak 3? I see a teen rating. I see guns. I see boobs. Naughty Dog perfected the Jak and Daxter formula out the gate. So they decided, what should we do next? Then they tried to make a GTA killer. And listen, I'm not saying Jak 2 and Jak 3 don't deserve to be in the Hall of Game. We can have that conversation a different time. But Jak and Daxter was perfect out the gate. It's a 10 out of 10 on their first stab at this series. I think it's the strongest first outing of the PlayStation 2 mascot games. Final notes, enjoyed 100%. I've done it multiple times. I have the Platinum. The PS3, PS2 version is the best way to play it. It's a rare game, I think, has 0 flaws. Daxter should be very annoying, but he is not at all. And enjoy this gif of them dancing for saving the day, saving the environment, and potentially getting into the Hall of Game. Is that time?
Using all the time. Yep, using all the time allotted. Very, very good.
Thank you.
Did you say boobs?
Yeah, those boobs on that Jak 2 box art.
Bro, I did not see it. I was.
I saw Kevin trying to
investigate. I'm like, where? I don't know. Oh well, but I like the way Jak 3's cover looks aesthetically. I think that has the best look. But you make solid points, good sir. You make solid points.
Thank you. I will take questions. Jak.
So Omar said he thought I was going to bring Jak 2. I told everyone they were going to vote for it. You've dashed my dreams, so I'm just going to start off with that. Secondly, I really like this game. It's great. I didn't play it till I was later in life, and that makes me sad. But I really think the story in Jak 2 and Jak 3 is far superior to the story in this. So why pick this game over those 2 games, which I think have some pretty cool stories?
I wouldn't know. I don't know if I'd say they're better. I'd say they're a little more fleshed out. But I don't think this game is trying to tell a daring story or anything like that. I think Jak 2 and Jak 3 are definitely more layered, where you get elements of time travel, political factions in the cities and the wastelands. Jak 1 does not try to tell a story on that level. The story in Jak 1, because Jak is a silent protagonist and Daxter's your voice essentially. The story is focused on traveling the world, seeing the world, going on this seamless adventure that feels as ambitious as all the locations you visit do, and save the environment. So it's a simple story, but I wouldn't say that it's bad or anything. So, Omar?
We talk about influence a lot on this show. Do you think Jak 1 was influential in any way? Did it influence any specific games?
Sure. I think obviously within its series, it influenced Jak 2 with the seamless city, that Mark Cerny referenced at the PS5 SSD reveal, so he's still very proud of this game and its influence. I'd say more immediately outside of its genre of platformers, which, Jak 2 and Jak 3 have platforming, but this is more of a traditional platformer. I'd say that Naughty Dog just nailed it, and I don't think anyone else could have competed with it, because the other two I brought up, Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper, go for very different avenues here. Like, they're still level based. Ratchet really goes in on the guns, but I think the time this game released as well is sort of like the beginning of the downfall of platformers, where you don't see many after the PS2 and GameCube until more recently, like Astrobot and like Mario's been consistent. But yeah, I think just the tech behind the scenes here is what people took from this game, you know, and clearly it's influential for the PS5. So
Definitely. What about? I was trying to tee you up for this one, honestly, specifically. Did this game influence Dark Souls? Is one question I want to ask with that map. Like,
I
feel like nothing else has an interconnected map like that.
I think you have a point there, because I mean, my reference for the Soul series is mainly Bloodborne and Sekiro, but still relying on that structure for sure. We went through all the levels, the entire journey that any of us would go on if we booted the game up right now. There's the hubs, right? Like a Dark Souls, like a Bloodborne, where you are doing things there. There's things to explore, see, and achieve in those locations, but it incentivizes exploration in a way that I feel like a lot of other games of the time don't, because there is so much to see. There's so much you can miss, because you don't have to collect everything. I recommend it because it's very fun to do. I've done it a couple times. But yeah, I can see a Dark Souls thing for sure in terms of just
I'd like
scope.
to mention one more thing, if you don't mind. This is about your presentation, but I think you invited the conversation, so I have to ask. And I think you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yes.
But you don't think Naughty Dog nailed it with the first Last of Us? Even if the second one's better, you don't
That
think
was the
they
big
nailed
question
that
I had.
first
Yeah.
try?
Yeah.
Also, don't you
Irrelevant
dislike
to the game
Last
I'm
of Us
bringing.
Part 2, kind of?
No, I think it's a
I
great
know.
improvement game-wise. Oh, are we asking me or Omar?
You, sorry.
Oh,
No,
story.
I know it's kind of irrelevant, but
Yeah.
you brought it on. I'm sorry.
You really slid in a hot take and just expected us
Yeah,
not
I was
to.
like,
No.
wait a minute.
So I think, like, on a structural, factual level, if you analyze what a thing is doing objectively, The Last of Us Part 2 is an improvement over the first. Jak 2 is not an improvement over Jak 1, because they perfected it, and they're like, you know what? Let's make a GTA game. Like, I feel like, obviously in those series, I was implying, like, you want to try and one-up yourself the second time. They didn't do that here, because they nailed it out the gate. The Last of Us Part 1, I do think has some issues in terms of its actual, like, moment-to-moment stuff. The storytelling is really good, but Part 2 pushes forward in storytelling. Gameplay, I don't think anyone would argue that the gameplay just feels better in Part 2. So, like, it is a natural improvement and innovation, where Jak is an innovation on a genre, and then they nailed it so hard out the gate, they decided to just try a new genre with its sequel. None of those other games did that. All of them have been trying to refine that one idea.
Would you then rather that Jak 1 was actually slightly worse, so then Jak 2 would be more Jak 1?
No, because I think Jak 3 is incredible, and Jak 3 is an innovation on Jak 2.
Very well. Very well. Thank you, Christian.
Of course.
I have a question, Christian.
It's here.
A lot of your presentation was about the ways this game innovated. Can you just kind of go a little bit deeper in which ways specifically do you think Jak and Daxter like innovated on the platformer genre, like specifically?
Sure. I think within the genre, it didn't do too much to influence things moving forward, but I do think it took the ideas that were like common for the series that we established with Mario 64, stuff that Sunshine does, anything Banjo-Kazooie, DK, whatever you want to do. Like, it took those ideas and used that as a basis, and then built this really interesting world around it that feels like a genuine adventure as you're exploring it, right? Like Mario 64, already great. You hop into a painting, you got to pick a level, you're given a direction of like, hey, there's a thing you got to do here. Jak and Daxter, again, you start at your beach. You can go east of the jungle, west through the mountain pass, and it's up to you to see things that look out of place, see things that you could reach, figure out how to get there. And I think in terms of its own genre, that seamless no loading world is an innovation in games itself, but does a lot to just make exploration here feel way more natural and way more of an adventure than other games.
Thanks.
I have so you know, it's no secret, right? I'm a big PlayStation fan, and this is actually one of the franchises that I have not explored yet. You know, it is planned, right? I do, you know, the games have been purchased. Like I will be going through Jack and Daxter, of course, but it's talked about a lot, especially over the last few years. That you know, it's great that Ratchet and Clank gets to live on. Next week, we're getting a brand new Ratchet and Clank. That's fantastic, right? But why? But I believe you've said that you like if you were to choose one of the PS2 mascots, to be a series that continues, right? It would be Jack and Daxter, right?
Yes.
I would like you to specifically talk about the reasoning as to what foundations were laid upon in Jack and Daxter that you think would be successful in 2021, right? Like I guess that's a little bit more of a question about like the whole franchise, but maybe if there's specific ties to the first game, like what elements of it do you think work in the modern day?
I mean, I'll start with just comparing it to Ratchet again. Like, Ratchet and Clank, I think, is consistently really good. But I wouldn't say that, and we'll see what happens with Rift Apart, right? But I wouldn't say that Ratchet continually has these amazing moments in its series to innovate and do something brand new. It's very much about refinement. Jack and Daxter, I think, the original one, 10 out of 10 nailed this genre. Then they moved on, using this IP, what can we do next? They did Jak 2, Jak 3, which was I would consider an improvement over Jak 2. And then, once again, they were like, okay, what can we do next? And then they made a combat racing game after this, Naughty Dog as well. So they went on to be very creative with what they could do with Jak and Daxter. There's a couple spin-offs as well that Naughty Dog didn't produce, but those are besides the point. I just think the reason Jak and Daxter would do so well modern day is that I think PlayStation's gotten away from this idea of innovating within its own franchises. And Jak and Daxter, I think that's essential to their identity, where Jack Martin and I, fall on completely different spectrums in terms of what's the pinnacle of the series. I think it's Jak 1. I know Jack thinks it's Jak 2. And
Hell yeah.
I don't think either of us are wrong because they're doing so many distinct things.
One of you guys is wrong.
I think
Sorry.
in 2021, PlayStation could use that. I genuinely think they could use that in their staple because Jak is very creative. There's a great lore there. Storytelling, they can amplify it up. And just have a series that they're not afraid to, like, try things in.
I hear you.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Jak 1's awesome. I wish I played it earlier in life.
Same.
It's a great platinum.
Oh yeah, great plan.
So, that is all the presentations. Now it is time to begin the voting process. What we will do is, let me swap over to this version of the scene. We're gonna do the same process we did before, where it is confessional cam one at a time, everybody mutes, and then DM me, game name, point value, and we will get that settled. Let me put all these up. We'll do it in presentation order once again. So first up would be Jack. So Jack, you will vote first. Either DM me on Discord or just text me your point values. When you are done, I will cue the next person, who I believe would be Omar, then Kevin, Mike, myself.
Was it
Okay.
5, 3, and 1?
5, 3,
Oh,
1.
Yeah,
Should I-
that's my question.
Should I be muted? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Or are we?
now we can mute. Jack has
Can
the
we
floor.
can we just like quickly run through each person's game just one last time?
Sure. So Jack brought Apex Legends. Omar brought Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Kevin brought Call of Duty Black Ops. Mike brought Fallout New Vegas. And I brought Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. So, yep. With that,
How should I signal that I am finished speaking?
you can just give
You
a
can type
thumbs
in-
up or just send it in the chat. Yeah.
Type it
We
in
can
Discord.
also
And
we can not vote for our own, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yes.
I can't hear Jack when he speaks, right? That was the.
But you have to
so
deafen,
point-
right? Is
deafen,
that the
yeah.
thing?
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely stuff.
Okay.
Deafen. I'm not going to deafen just because the audience is hearing what I'm hearing, but I'll take my headphones off.
Yeah, can I ask
Yeah.
one quick question, just real quick?
Hmm?
You sure you don't want to just send everyone the numbers to you immediately right now, and then we can just talk?
There's more suspense this way.
Okay.
So who would be up next? Is it Kevin after me?
No, it's
It's
Omar.
me.
Omar.
It's Jack, Omar,
Okay.
Kevin, Mike, and me.
All right.
Are we good?
I am ready.
Okay. Everybody deafen.
Okay. It is just me speaking to the JoyClicks faithful, so thank you for allowing me to pontificate. I have two choices that I already know. Three of these are actually all of these are very nostalgic to me in a lot of ways. So I'll start with my favorite, which is getting 5 points. That's Fallout New Vegas. One of my favorite RPGs of all time. It was one of my first instances of playing a first-person big RPG, and it was kind of overwhelming, but a friend of mine had it at the time and was sort of showing me the ropes. So that is very nostalgic for me. In fact, that was a game that I've been wanting to bring up to the Hall of Games, so I think it would be irresponsible of me not to put it at my number one spot. And I love that game dearly. And I think something that maybe Mike didn't bring up was that this has a lot of love in the Fallout community as being the best one. Everyone sort of talks about Fallout 3, but New Vegas is the one that sort of people go back to, and it just being more of a fleshed out experience and really fun game. So I love that. That's my number one. It's getting 5 points. I think the number two spot for me would be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I sort of ribbed Omar a little bit for not choosing Underground because that's another game I want to bring to the Hall of Games. So I'm going to choose that as my number two spot, give it 3 points. I think it's quite influential. I started skating a little bit last year because of Tony Hawk and this franchise. So I'm going to say Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And then I'm torn with this one because I like both of these games a lot. But I would say Jack 1 would get my pick for the number 3 spot, giving it 1 point. Did I say Jack 3? Jack 1. Jack 1, like I said, is one of those games I wish I played later in life or earlier in life. I played it in high school, and I wish I played it as a kid. I never did. But I played it until once I was in high school, like Christian. I platinumed it. Probably have the platinum 3 times in it. Black Ops is I might have put Black Ops in this spot, but I think Christian made a really good case for this being probably the best in the series. I love Jack 2, but there's really not a lot of bad things I could say about Jack 1. I'm going to keep talking a little bit more because Omar has not come back yet. I see him in the frame, but to reiterate, I'm going to text this to Christian right now. New Vegas, number 1, 5 points. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, number 2, 3 points. Jack 1, number 3, 1 point. I'm going to signal that I'm done. I don't see Omar in the screen. There he is. I'm going to deafen. Thank you for listening.
Hello. Hey. I'm gonna send this list to Christian, but yeah, I'm giving Fallout New Vegas the Fat 5. That's a game I always meant to play, but never been in the right mindset for, but I really do respect a lot of it. And I think Mike did a really great job with that presentation. There's just something there about Obsidian making a better Bethesda game than Bethesda that I think is fantastic. Next up, what did I do? I got Call of Duty Black Ops at number 3, which I think is pretty funny. With 3 points, Black Ops is just phenomenal. Honestly, I was a hater when I was a Modern Warfare 2 diehard, and I was gonna boycott Black Ops when it came out because fuck Treyarch. But man, that game was just too good. You couldn't ignore it. And honestly, a lot of my friends still boycotted Black Ops, so I didn't really get to play with them. But that campaign was phenomenal, and I prestiged a few times just playing by myself. And Gun game was fantastic. It had dedicated servers on PC, which was cool after Modern Warfare 2 didn't. Controller support too. Classic game. Number 1 point, the point 1 point is going to Apex Legends because I like Respawn a lot, and I haven't really been able to play Apex Legends because I don't really want to queue up with randoms, but I wish I had as much fun as Jack did. He seems like he's had an incredible time with that game, and I always respect and support multiplayer games that change people's lives like that. I don't know if it changed his life, but I'm going to say it did. So that's cool. All right. Let me just. God, I'm so. I'm sorry. 3 flops. 1 Apex. Man, I hope people vote for Tony Hawk. Man, I would have voted for that if I could. I mean, just saying. I don't know. All right.
Greetings, chat, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm in an interesting spot where I actually haven't played the majority of the games that were brought to the panel, right? I played a decent amount of Apex over the years, but not like entirely too much, right? But I never played Jack 1, never played New Vegas, and never played Pro Skater 3, right? So I purely just went off of like how the panel was able to explain why they chose their game, right? And I think everyone did like a really good job, honestly. I think everyone really did a good job, but like I feel like for the 3 points for the you know what, let's start the lowest one. So the lowest one I would say is going to be New Vegas, right? I think that Mike did a great job at explaining why. And I feel that there were ripples that were seen in the industry from New Vegas, so shout out to that. Secondary, I give it to Jack 1. You know what I'm saying? You gotta show a little PlayStation love. You know what I'm saying? A little Sony pony me. I couldn't just put that at the lowest tier, right? So shout out to Jack 1. Precursor legacy. Let's give that the 3 points. And the top one, the game that I feel has had the most effect on the industry as of late, and that I think was really, really clearly laid out and defended was Apex Legends. So I gave that the 5-point score for that. So shout out to Jack Martin and shout out to Apex.
Alrighty. Well, I'm undeafened. It's time for me to put my thoughts here on record. All of the presentations were really great. Shout out, Kevin. I think you had the most creative out of all of them. I really enjoyed it, but all of them were excellent. Really hard to choose. I really enjoyed Jack's presentation about Apex Legends. Like I said, that's a game that I really, really, really enjoy. But it's so recent. I'm not really sure if it really. Not sure if it deserves to be on the Hall of Game list for that reason. It's just lots can happen between now and really the end of time for this game. And some of these that are on this list are a little bit more concrete. They've been something for a long time and will likely never change. So going down the list, Omar really enjoyed his presentation about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Honestly, that's one of my favorite games of all time. I had that for the GameCube, so it's really hard for me to not think of that super highly. Black Ops 1, also something that I thought was a very good game back in the day that I played the crap out of, so it's very close to my heart. And then Jack and Daxter. I never had a PlayStation other than the PlayStation 4. I haven't had the chance to really play any of the Jack and Daxter games, but I remember my cousin. I remember watching my cousin play Jack 2 a lot. Though I think Christian made a lot of good points about. He had a very well thought out presentation, and I appreciate that. So as much as I want to put Apex Legends on this list, I just don't think. I don't think it really holds up when considering the longevity of the Hall of Game and just all the other games that I have to choose from. I would say Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, I would give 5 points to. Black Ops 1, I would give 3 points to. And Jack and Daxter, I'd give 1 point to. And I'm going to let Christian know that. All right. Good talking to y'all.
Okay. Here we go, chat. Great presentations from everybody. Everybody brought a great pick this time. I'm glad that there was no super obvious one. Like, I'm aware what Mario 64 looks like. I brought that last time knowing it would probably get in. So very, very great picks from everybody. I think the way it's netting out for me, I mean, I already selected this, but I'll say what I... Let me start with the 1 point. 1 point is going to Call of Duty Black Ops, because I thought Kevin gave a fantastic presentation. I love the video. He did a great job with it. Call of Duty is not my preferred shooter, but Black Ops, I think, transcends Call of Duty. I think it's an incredible game. Kevin gave a great presentation, well argued his points, well defended the game, and I can't think of anything to criticize Black Ops about. I haven't played it in a long time, but I can't think of anything. So 1 point to Black Ops. Jack played me. 3 points to Apex, because he knows he's playing up me and Mike. We play this game together. It is truly the best battle royale, unquestionably. I think Respawn is the best first-person shooter developer working today. Titanfall 2 is my favorite shooter ever made. And Apex is just a natural progression of that, and it's free, and you cannot argue what that game gives you. It gives you an incredible battle royale. Damn, I should have asked him about solos. There's no solo queue. That's a bummer. It's still worth 3 though, because Arenas is incredible. I played a little bit of Arenas. It is a massively different video game. It's a fantastic, fantastic game. And Jack, professional as always, Apex legend, gave a great presentation. And lastly, 5 points is going to Fallout New Vegas, a game I haven't played. I played a little Fallout 3, did not enjoy it. I played like 25, 30 hours of Fallout 4. I didn't like it more than Skyrim. I definitely have a more interest in Elder Scrolls, but Mike had a ton of passion in his presentation. I thought he did a great job. He really defended the game well. There's some glaring issues with the game, but I think he brought enough love and passion behind it that excuses the bugs. So, to recap, 1 to Black Ops, 3 to Apex, and 5 to New Vegas. So, great job, everybody. We're going to tally this up and see what we got. Let me just message the chat. Unmute, we're good.
Greetings.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
I've received everybody's. I just got to tally real quick, and then we'll be good to go. So, you can talk amongst yourselves.
Great picks this go around.
Great picks. Great picks.
I'm never bringing another Tony Hawk game if this doesn't get in. So here's hoping.
Shit.
Do it.
Oh,
I'll vote
shit.
for it.
This was the one for me.
Yeah, we didn't.
Very
So
sad
what?
about the lack of Underground, but
Yeah.
you know.
It's great.
I want to bring an underground, but I have a different underground.
I know what underground you want to bring.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kevin, I'll vote
Yes,
for
you
that.
do.
It's so easy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're
That
almost
one-
giving it away.
Essentially, yeah. But, you know, maybe there's other IPs that have the word underground there, where I can kind of, you know, still have a level of mystique, if you will. But so integrate next week, huh? Who's hyped? Who's excited? Anyone? Yeah, no, maybe. You know.
Kevin, talk about
Omar?
E3. What are we doing for E3?
Oh, we're doing a lot of reactions on youtube.com/joyclicks. Will it be like last year, where there's a lot? where we're reacting to a lot of things. No, it's not. We're gonna do a nice combing of the list. Okay, we're gonna really sit down. Like, we're not really gonna be, reacting to the PC gaming show. I'm sure they have great driver updates and tax the software 2022. I'm sure it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? All that.
Microsoft Excel.
Yeah, yeah. All those award-winning. I'm sure it's gonna be a fine show. But we won't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? We're coming with the Microsoft Bethesda conference, the Nintendo conference, I'm assuming as well, the likes of what else? Why am I forgetting? I'm thinking a big part. Yeah, Ubisoft as well, you know what I'm saying? A lot of good stuff to come up for E3 for sure. Gonna be some nice stuff, I'm sure we'll have a beer or two, Christian, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure we could, perhaps bring some refreshments, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. So,
you always need drinks for Kiwi shows.
For sure, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, Summer Games Fest, of course. Summer Games Fest, of course. That's coming up.
When's that? June 10th, right?
June 10th.
Yes, yeah,
Kickoff
yeah.
live. You always got to take everything you say from Jeff Keighley. I know he's listening, so I apologize, Jeff. You always got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. It's like, this is gonna be the greatest thing ever. And it's like,
he's just excited.
Yeah, I know.
love
He's
Jeff.
trying to sell. He's trying to sell his thing, and he's great.
Yeah.
But temper your expectations for Big Jeff.
Okay.
We're doing this?
I have results I've triple checked, so I know the inductees. No ties.
Wow.
No ties, baby.
Do you want
Here
to
You're
we
gonna have
say
to
Omar?
triple check my fists if you don't get Tony Hawk Pro Skater in that top 3.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry.
I'm feeling confident, man. I'm feeling
So
confident.
we'll go from least to most. When we get down to 3, I'll reveal the one that got the most, and then it'll come down to the final 2, which one got in. Okay.
All right.
That sounds like a plan.
So, in last place with 5 votes,
Oh no.
Jack and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy.
Wow,
Whoa.
that is pretty shocking. Wow,
Sorry,
that
Christian.
one. Damn.
And I can
That
never
game's
bring it.
Damn.
So, we forgot to mention that if you don't get it in, that person can never bring that game again. So,
Wait, is that the rule?
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, that's the rule.
I thought it was if you get no votes, you're banned.
I thought it was no votes is banned, and then because like you didn't get Arkham City, and so you can't bring it again, but like I can bring it again. I think that's how it
Gotcha.
works.
Okay.
So someone else could bring Jack 1 in theory.
Yeah, but who the hell would bring it? I mean, maybe Omar.
Exactly. Right. Right.
I
But
totally
they-
would.
No, there's a better
Theoretically,
choice.
Exactly.
if Jack got 0 points, if Jack got 0 points, then no one could ever bring it ever again.
Right. So
Right.
We would all have to delete our copies of that game.
Damn. Just burn it at the stake.
Yes.
yes, last place 5 votes, Jack and Daxter. Coming in by 2 votes ahead with 7 votes, also not making it in. Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yo, that one really fucking hurt. That one really. Yo, are y'all serious?
I'm actually shocked. I thought that was.
Come
a lot.
on!
Yeah, I thought that was
Wow. Holy shit. Wow.
You did great.
Damn.
That was very good.
Yeah, that video was awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a very well edited.
And
I'm
we can debrief in a moment.
I'm genuinely shocked. Wow.
Okay, so we're down to New Vegas, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and Apex Legends. First place, the most votes, with 16 votes. 16 points. Fallout New Vegas.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Craziness.
Congrats, Mike.
Thank you. Wow. I'm honored, honestly.
Uh,
Truly honored.
We're down to Pro Skater 3 and Apex Legends for the second inductee.
I totally expected Pro Skater to be that one. But
Really?
hell yeah.
Same.
To be number 1, yeah.
Mhm.
But I love New Vegas, so,
So-
very happy.
Pro Skater 3 and Apex came down to a difference of 1 point. One has 9, one has 8.
Man, I hope I didn't get that game 1 fucking point.
So, the second inductee to the Summer Joy-Clicks Hall of Game class of 2021 is Apex Legends.
Fuck me.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Great job, Jack.
Congratulations
Wow.
to the winners, Mike and Jack. You nailed it. Fallout New Vegas and Apex Legends. Also, I'll say this: nobody brought a Nintendo game, so no Nintendo game could have won.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well,
Just leaves it open for 2 Nintendo games the next time.
yeah.
I can't believe this dude brought Apex Legends. I honestly didn't expect that. I know it's your favorite game, but I was like, holy shit. That was wild.
I was like, I'm going to get this out of the way. I know I'm the most like fervent Apex Legends fan of all of us, so I was like, I might as well just get out of the way. I figured Christian was going to say the least voted for one was Apex, because I know I'm the big Apex guy, but that took me by stress.
Jack, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be us two, bro. I thought we were gonna be the top popping champagne bottles out here, 10th floor. I thought we were gonna be, man.
Jack, you played me. I don't know if Mike feels this way, but you're playing up these squad nights we've had. Like I think.
Oh, wait a second. Recount. Fuck this.
There's some collusion going on.
Yeah.
So you tell me if I invite you to a Black Ops lobby, I might have had a little bit of the.
No, also I just in 2021, I'd rather play Apex Legends right now than Call of Duty.
Oh no, yeah.
I really thought Tony Hawk was going to be.
I think we need to run through a recount.
Yeah, I want to hear what people voted for, because I agree with Mike. I thought Omar was gonna. Lightning was striking twice, but apparently not. Very close.
Jack, you voted first. Let's hear what your picks were.
Yeah, so I will start with. Let me bring up my little ranking here. I always like talking to people by myself when everyone's deafened. I get to have a nice little conversation. We must all like that. So at number 3, I was very torn between Jack 1 and Black Ops, but I ended up picking Jack 1 because I personally like that game a little bit more, and I think both Christian and Kevin had really good defenses in terms of your individual games, but I think Christian made some really good points about how Jack was a really good evolution of like Mario and stuff like that, and it was a really interesting point saying that Jack 1 was one of the like perfect examples of like the first of a series being good, because usually like last time I did Arkham City, and Arkham Asylum was really great, and then Arkham City just sort of blew it out of the water in many regards, but I thought that was a good point of Jack being the best in the series, and you can definitely make that case because Jack 1's pretty great. And then number 2, I chose Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. If it was Underground, that'd be my number 1. Omar, you made a grave mistake. But I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is very influential, and I feel like any Tony Hawk game is like, at least for the first like 5 maybe, or is just as great as the next, or maybe better as they go on. So yeah, I love that. And I started skating a little bit last year. I know Mike did too.
Yo.
Definitely because of Tony Hawk. Come on.
I also did the same thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 1 was New Vegas. New Vegas was a game I've wanted to bring up for the Holo game, so I would feel real dumb if I didn't bring that as my number 1. And yeah, New Vegas is great. It's one of those that like everyone thinks of like Fallout 4, but I think the movement right now about Fallout is around a potential sequel to Fallout New Vegas, with Obsidian being brought into the Microsoft fold with Bethesda as well. So yeah, you got me, Mike. You got me. Well done.
I'd love to see a New Vegas too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Or any Obsidian Fallout, just give me that.
Omar, what did you vote for?
Sure, I gave a tiny little small point to Apex Legends. That's number 1. Because I'll be honest, like I think just the audacity of bringing this game to this thing I thought about like maybe jokingly bringing Fortnite, but this I could not expect in a million years, and it was awesome. You did a great job. I'll even admit, like I'm kind of like a Apex hater only because I haven't really played enough of it, and I want Titanfall 3, even though I know that the path is Apex Legends will bring us to Titanfall 3. You're so right.
Rising tide lifts all ships.
Absolutely. I gave 3 points to Call of Duty Black Ops. I said this a little bit in my presentation, but like I was a Modern Warfare 2 diehard, and I was boycotting Black Ops when it was coming out, but the game was just too good, and I had to pick it up. Like,
thank you, King.
Yeah, of course. The campaigns were great. Gary Oldman, Reznov, hilarious. 5 points I gave to Fallout New Vegas, because that's a game that's kind of on my bucket list. That's the one I need to play. Mike, you did a fantastic job of that presentation, and hopefully I'll play it before I die. That was
I
it.
hope so too.
Yeah.
Kevin, how did your votes shake out?
See, who I was gracious to ended up stabbing me in the back horribly. I will explain that here. So at the one point, I give a nice tip and a nod to New Vegas, right? I just feel like you did a very good job at like explaining how its legs have permeated throughout the industry as a whole, even though I haven't played it. So shout out to that for sure. For 3 points, I gave it to Jack 1. Once again, I felt that you were able to convey a lot of the game in a very enticing way, and you were able to give clear and concise thoughts on it. Once again, another game that I have not played either. But I like especially liked your answer in terms of why you would want to see it be remade or brought back to the mainstream and everything. So shout out to Jack for number 3. But then my 5 points did go to Apex Legends. I felt it in your soul, Jack. I felt the love for this game, and I wanted to give you a low bone. You know what I'm saying? As someone that was also bringing one of their favorite shooters, but I see here that Jack did not vote for me, and unfortunately I didn't vote for Omar, but Omar voted for me. So we have a nice interesting line of things here that happened. So Omar, I'd like to express a humble apology to you, good sir.
It's all right. You should play some Tony Hawk at some point. You might like it.
You're right. I should. You're right. I mean, you name dropped Exhibit. That should have been enough, but it is what
I forgive you. It's all right.
Thank you, friend.
Mike, how did your votes go?
Well, so for the number 1 spot, so the game that I gave 1 point to, I chose Jack and Daxter. So I never played Jack and Daxter. I think I said it while we were all on Deafin. I had seen Jak 2 been played in my youth by my cousin. I always thought it was very interesting. But Christian, I think you did a really good job sort of making your case for this game as to why you think it's so influential in terms of its genre, and then just like I think you made a really good point in how this was sort of like a stepping off point for the franchise for Jak and Daxter as a whole, and like where they went after this. I thought that was really a really pertinent sort of point to bring up. So I gave that 1 point. I gave Black Ops 1 3 points because of course, great game. Spent a lot of time playing that myself. And I thought you did a really great job. I thought you had an awesome presentation, Kevin. Like the video was very creative, and you made a lot of really good points. Definitely think that Zombies and Black Ops was the best, and for sure is deserving of being in the Hall of Fame at some point. And then of course I had to give Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 points. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. Played it on the GameCube. You gotta love that soundtrack. You gotta love all the maps, man. Bam Margera, you really spoke to me when you were talking about Bam Margera, and of course, 5 points there. I do feel bad not giving any points to Apex Legends, just because I, do play that game and do enjoy it a lot. I just thought, in terms of like the Hall of Game and stuff, I feel putting a newer game on there just didn't seem right to me. But great presentation, Jack. Didn't mean to snub you on that, but good job.
All well and good. I know we're going to be playing sometime soon, so doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Yes.
For mine, I ended up giving 1 point to Black Ops because Kevin did a great presentation, I thought, and I've never been a COD guy. Black Ops was my moment. I was really, really into that game. And I thought you made great points on why it deserves to be in. And I think it'll get in eventually, because you're right. It's everybody's favorite Call of Duty game here, I think. I don't know about Omar, but I think it's everybody's favorite.
Really good, though.
Yeah, it's a great game. I thought you defended it really well. I gave 3 points to Apex Legends because I love Titanfall. Jackie gave a great presentation. And it's some of my favorite multiplayer I've played this past generation, even though I don't play it a ton. I think it's the best battle royale, and you made really good points for it. And then I gave 5 points to Fallout New Vegas, a game I haven't played, but like Omar, it's on my bucket list. That will be one of the first games I play when I find more free time. And Mike, the reference to KOTOR with Pazak, just as like building that Vegas vibe, like getting these card games out there, like you really showed your passion for that game, I think, and it outweighed the bugs, I think. So you did a great job.
Thanks.
And Omar, I'm sorry I didn't vote for Pro Skater 3. I don't have any experience with that game.
It's okay, Christian. I'm sorry I didn't vote for Jack and Daxter because I thought I totally would, but like I don't know if it's one of the best games, but it's really great.
We both won last time, so like
yeah, we had to give some love.
Yeah.
Kevin, I'm sorry. Next time you'll get in.
Oh, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not. I didn't just bring my favorite multiplayer probably ever to all of game, but
well, Jack brought his and he won.
Yeah, and then he won. Yes.
I'm afraid of Kevin's potential because he's bringing all these crazy videos. And
Kevin, the video was great. It was really good.
It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit, and it's gonna hit hard. And I'm
genuinely thought it was gonna be me and Jack top floor, baby, popping champagne. I was like, once he brought Apex, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. It's done. It's done.
Shooters.
The video really was like, do not be discouraged. Please do another video. That was excellent.
Oh no, I'm gonna level it up. Trust. Y'all not ready.
Yeah, I was.
Y'all not ready.
I was between Apex and COD for my 3-1. So if Apex wasn't here, it would have gotten 3 for me. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
The video was lit though.
Yeah, it was very good.
No worries. It's all good.
So
did you guys get it? Why Tony Hawk was kind of important in that series?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say.
Absolutely.
That's all I needed to.
Omar,
to get.
I know it hurts so bad. Omar, I know it
it's
hurts.
okay.
See,
I really thought Tony Hawk and
feels
Black
like
Ops were like the ones. I thought those were going in.
Next time, maybe Kevin will get one in. We got one in our next meeting for the fall season. Will be September. Is the next Hall of Game ceremony. This one came up real quick, so get ready. That next one's gonna be here before you know it. Once again, congratulations to Fallout New Vegas and Apex Legends. They will be added to the official plaque for the 2021 class. You can keep up with that on the JoyClicks Twitter at JoyClicks. This will be archived on the channel, and we'll keep posted about schedules for E3 future Hall of Games on Twitter as well as the YouTube channel. But yeah, everybody want to run through, just shout out their Twitters or anything real quick? Mike, you want to start?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Mike P. Connors. It's a pleasure being here with all of you today. I'm excited to do this again. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. My Twitter is at Chun2D2. Once again, great picks, everybody. I really loved that there wasn't a Mario 64 this time. I'm glad we all picked really good picks. So, Jack.
You could follow me on Twitter at FascinatingJack. It's sad that I will be returning to the void until September and never seeing you until then. But yeah, I'm excited to return to existence and talk about video games. That'll be a good time.
Oh yeah, Omar.
Yeah, I'll just echo what you said, Christian, real quick, and say the picks this time I think were even better than last time. Great job, everyone, bringing those games. It was a lot of fun. My Twitter, I have a Twitch and a Twitter. I'm going to start plugging my Twitter again. There's some crazy tweets happening now. Twitter.com/OhmsTheChef. You got to check it out. And Twitch, OhmsTheChef. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Kevin, let's hear it.
I may not be sipping champagne, but you know what? At least, Omar, I'm sure we could, share a little beer, maybe, what? No, it's a depth. So a cup of water, you know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
There's not a lot down here, We're like on 1313 Coruscant, you know what I'm saying?
Don't you dare make me like that. You're with Christian, actually. I'm above you. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
you're on.
You and I are the ones who lost
you're on.
Most.
You're on 1312. All right, I'm over here at 1313. Twitter at PSOrsVids, at the KDS123 as well for my personal stuff, and YouTube.com/. PlayStation Source, of course, all that good stuff. And yeah, maybe I think no, I am a little bit hurt. I'm not even gonna lie, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Everyone did a great job. Shout out to all the games. All the very, very high quality games. But yeah, we'll see how the next one goes.
Mission fail. We'll get him next time.
Mission fail. We'll get him next time. Oh, tragic.
Well, until next time, we'll be doing a bunch of stuff for E3 and Games Fest in the coming weeks. But that's it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will see you next time.
Nice.
Ooh. Who's down to do Ground Zeroes next week? You know what I'm saying? Anybody else
I'm
down?
feeling